Hello everybody, I'm Don Counts and we're here at the museum and we're going to be talking about an upcoming event coming up, the War of 1812, the Camp Blount ceremony coming up, and Dr. Ferris Beasley here, which many of you know, can tell us what we're doing here today.
Well, Don, I've been appointed chairman of our local committee, and we've got a really exciting event coming up for our community. Last weekend in September 27th and 28th, it's the 200th anniversary of Camp Blount's muster, and that's where Jackson came from Nashville, troops assembled, they went to fight the Creek Indian War. Less than a year later, they went to fight the Battle of New Orleans. This is a pretty significant site, and we want to pass on this legacy of the patriots that brought this about. Particularly, we want to educate our young people about it.
Let's talk a little bit about Camp Blount. Most people's going to know that that was the trees, or that's where in front of Walmart that were there. Where are we talking about now?
Okay, it was probably in its time a 200-acre site at least, because there were several thousand people there and probably 1,000 horses. It's just across the Elk River, south of town, about a mile on the left behind Hardee's. There's a soybean field there right now. And it probably went from there down the highway a little bit and across the highway in another direction a little bit. And it's only about 39 acres of it left, and we're also trying to preserve this site for a park at the same time.
Park would be great for our community, and let's introduce your friends here.
Okay, on your left is Myers Brown. He's curator of the Tennessee State Museum, but more important right now, he's the chairman of the Tennessee State War of 1812 Commission. It's a pretty wide variety. It's a wide membership group. I happen to be a member of that too, and he's going to be the quarterback of what we do here in Fayetteville, because we've never done a living history event. He's done these many times, so he's going to be calling the shots. And his cohort here is Bill Glidden, who's also going to be involved in helping us do this thing as authentically correct as we can possibly do it.
Myers, tell me a little bit about how this is going to take place. What's going to happen?
Well, of course, historically, what would have had, this was the largest mustering of Tennessee troops during the War of 1812 era. So when Jackson's men were here, it was the Tennessee militia and the Tennessee volunteers, and this is where our state starts to get that nickname, is during the War of 1812. Now, what we're going to do with the living history, we're going to have various groups representing some of the different units that were here at the time for the muster. We'll have an artillery piece doing firing demonstrations. The soldiers will be doing some drilling, some firing, but we'll also have representations to demonstrate women's roles during the time period. There'll be stuff going on the whole time on Saturday.
So Dr. Beasley talked about you've done this kind of thing before, and you try to make them just about like it used to, what it really was.
Well, we try to. Now, you obviously, where the 39 surviving acres of Camp Blount is kind of surrounded by development, but that's important because that means it's even more crucial that we get this piece of land preserved, so that there is something to remind future generations about the roles that their ancestors played during this historic time period. But we'll also have a school day on Friday, and bringing in local school groups, again, to kind of carry on that tradition, carry on that important piece of information. We will have historic camps. Everybody be camping outdoors on the tented field, as they would say. We'll have guys representing John Coffey's mounted rifles as well. So there'll be a lot going on.
Bill, what's your role?
My role basically is, as you know, here at the museum there is a painting on display called Crossroads of Destiny, painted by David Wright, a friend of ours, and it depicts General Jackson and Houston and Crockett and your local Dr. McKinney, and I'm going to write a little scenario that will build off of that painting, and we're going to do that a couple of times a day for the 2 days, and I'm going to provide the wagons and the horses, and I'm a historical interpreter, and we do many time frames. We do the colonial period, we do this War of 1812, we do the Civil War period, and we do the movement west, but we're going to be concentrating on this War of 1812. So my wagons and the saddles and the dress that all of my people will be in will be absolutely authentic, and that's what we're striving for here. We want an event that will create enough interest. As Dr. Beasley said earlier, we need to preserve these 39 acres that are still in existence, to do whatever, make a park so the people can come down and experience what we as living historians get a chance to experience on almost a daily basis. We have to make it available to the public.
What's the chances of this actually coming to fruition?
Oh, it's going to happen. We've never done this before. As I told Meyer sometime back, when we do this one more, it'll be two we've done. That's why we wanted these experts to help us do it right. Myers, you might point out something that I didn't know about these living history things. They have an inspection. They call it an authenticity inspection. They can comment.
Yeah, what we'll do, one of the things that will take place first thing Saturday morning, we'll line all the troops up and we'll do an authenticity inspection and a safety inspection. Inspect the firearms, inspect the ammunition, but also make sure guys aren't wearing modern glasses, aren't wearing modern shoes, that they're not smoking cigarettes, doing anything that would not be done in the period. That we have to make sure everybody's toeing the line, so that everything that you see out here will be appropriate to the 1813 time period.
Preserving history is a very important thing, something you've been involved in, being around the museum for a long time. What's the dates on this so the public, we can get that word out first?
Friday and Saturday, the last weekend in September, the 27th and the 28th. And here's the neat thing about this, Don. You know, our county celebrated its 200th anniversary about 4 years ago, 2009, 2010. And this occurred in 2013, 3 or 4 years after our community was founded. When this happened, Fayetteville was little more than a clearing in the woods. And the farms, what few farms there were just dots in the wilderness. And with the fear that was provoked by that Fort Mims massacre, these people were so afraid that the Indians might be coming to our frontier, our borders, that they left their families, small children, and followed Jackson down to the Battle of Horseshoe Bend. And that's pretty remarkable. And we need to pass that heritage on, particularly to our young people.
Well, we know for a fact that there was something taking place there. All my life, there's always people back there behind Hardee's looking for arrowheads and lots of things down through there. So we know the history's there.
It's absolutely. It was several years. Of course, the troops went from here to Horseshoe Bend, New Orleans. Later on, the Civil War was involved in some muster sites there, and it's a very historical place.
What can people who are watching and viewing and maybe interested in this, what can they do to make this happen?
Well, I guess with two different things. One, with the preservation of the site, is write letters of support.
To who?
Actually, they go to the Tennessee Wars Commission. You can just get them to Dr. Beasley, and he can get them into the right hands. But for the Living History event, the main thing we need to do is have the community turn out for it. That's the biggest way they can get involved. Because living history guys like Bill, the last thing they want to do is spend their time to volunteer, and then nobody comes to see them. So the best thing the community can do for that weekend on September 27th and 28th is just show up. Come out, enjoy the event, walk the site, talk to these guys. All of them are experts. Talk to them about their clothing, their weapons, and all this stuff going on. And that's the biggest thing they can do, is just show up. And the good thing is it's not going to cost them anything. It's a free event.
Well, Bill, you talked about Crossroads to Destiny, and that's one of the most popular paintings in our community, and something that we're very proud of.
Myers and I have known David Wright for a long time, as has Dr. Beasley, and David does excellent work, and he tries to specialize in this era, really. I mean, he'll do some colonial, he does Native American. I don't know that he gets too far up into towards Civil War, but he does some Civil War. But when we started to create this thing down here, we were wondering what we could do that would really create something special for the people who come out to see what we're doing. And we just thought, okay, we got to take this Crossroads of Destiny and work it into a scenario. So we're going to work it into a 15, 20-minute scenario with the people coming and going and checking in with Jackson. And you understand now, Jackson is just coming down from up north, and his arm is in a sling because he's done something that probably the rest of us wouldn't want to do. He fought a duel. But anyway, we won't recreate the duel, but we will have him on a horse, his arm in a sling, and Crockett will be there. Houston, as in David's painting, will be there. Dr. McKinney will be there, and we're going to set it up towards the end of the scenario. Our thinking is to make it a photo op for everybody who's there. Okay, you can get a picture very similar to what the painting is, the way David depicted the event from 200 years ago. Sans the big oak trees, of course, they won't be there. But we're going to come as close to it as we can, and we're really looking forward to doing it, and we hope that everybody will come out, support it. It is free, like Meyer said. Just come, learn about local history, and pass it on. That's what history is. If you don't pass it on, it's gone.
That's right. Well,
One personal note about the picture, you know, Dr. Charles McKinney is in it, and Dr. Bill Young, that's his great-great-great-grandfather. And to play that part in this picture, in this living history, we're going to have Dr. Bill Young's son, Dr. Will Young, who is a urologist in Chattanooga. He's excited to death about this. He's ordered a rather expensive set of clothes from the company that does these period dress. He's got his doctor's satchel. He just got his top hat in. He sent me a picture of that, and he's wired to go. So that's going to be pretty neat.
Being able to take a picture of the Crossroads to Destiny painting, I guess you would call it a reenactment of the painting, would be really great for all the people who's got those, and I know it's going to make that even more. I'm sure people can still get prints of that, right?
We have prints available. We've got probably between 50 and 75 left, and they're going to be for sale and be promoted during this event. And all the money from that sale, as you know, goes to scholarships for the AP high school history class. So that's pretty neat.
And I might add that David Wright will be here to sign the works on Friday night. So.
Very good. Well, Dr. Beasley, I know y'all got a meeting y'all fixing to do, and y'all are going to go down to the site here in a little bit. I appreciate you letting us know. We're going to continue to promote this, as you know, and when you get more details together, we're going to get it out. We'll meet again. We'll talk about it again, and we appreciate you getting these guys down, the experts, it sounds like.
Exactly, and Don, we appreciate your support. We badly need that, as you know, to get this word out, and we appreciate what you're doing.
We're going to get the word out, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people there. Thank you, guys. Appreciate y'all coming. Appreciate y'all talking to us today. And Dr. Beasley, we'll be in touch, and we'll stay in touch, and we'll get that going. We appreciate you. Don't forget, let's get the date again for the Camp Blount Bicentennial.
September 27, 28, 3 months away.
3 months away. You need to get ready for that and come out and support it. It's going to be a great thing. So from the museum here in Fayetteville Lincoln County Museum, I'm Don Counts, and we'll see you back in here next time.